What started as real-life Hollywood thriller involving sort of a great escape has now morphed into an international, I guess you could call it, manhunt for former chairman and CEO of auto giants Nissan and Renault, Carlos Ghosn, who is now on the run. The world-renowned business leader under house arrest for months after Japanese authorities arrested and charged him with funneling company money for personal gain, skipped bail Christmas Day and allegedly, and we don't know if he was doing it disguised, who knows, allegedly boarded a private jet in Osaka, Japan, possibly hidden in a musical instrument box belonging to a band that had performed at Ghosn's Tokyo residence, and then heading for Istanbul and finally Lebanon. Ghosn releasing a defiant statement a couple of hours ago saying he had, quote, not fled justice. I have escaped injustice and political persecution. Ghosn had been subject to interrogation without an attorney, and his trial had been delayed once again till 2021. At this hour, there's a stakeout at the home he owns in Lebanon. It's on your screen right there. International police agency Interpol has issued a, quote, red notice. That's a request to all law enforcement agencies worldwide to locate and arrest wanted fugitives. Provisional arrest warrant for Ghosn, who fled Japan for Lebanon to avoid an April trial for financial misconduct charges. Let's bring in Jamil Jaffer. He's George Mason Law School National Security Institute founder and executive director. What happens next here? Let's say the authorities in Lebanon do know that he's there. Find him, locate him.
Well, Liz, he's told the world he's there in Lebanon, and that's what we expect, is that they know he's there. They've indicated that he entered the country legally on a valid passport. That's an interesting area because his 3 passports that we know he had, and potentially a 4th that was held in a locked case, we don't know where those passports are. We think 3 of them are in the hands of his lawyers. But look, if the Lebanese know he's there, the question is, will they extradite him? And they don't have an extradition treaty in place with Japan. And their typical procedure under the Lebanese criminal code is to not extradite Lebanese citizens to other countries.
I know Carlos Ghosn. I've interviewed him multiple times. Brilliant businessman. He was treated terribly by the Japanese legal system if you're talking about a democracy. He was arrested, and then he was held over and over again. He didn't have access to his own attorney when they interrogated him. This is not acceptable. So I get the desperation, but how do you see him? Do you see him as sort of an international fugitive or a political prisoner or somewhere in between?
Well, you know, it's a hard one, Liz, because, you know, obviously being the former chairman of Renault, he came over to work with Nissan. The question is, did he, in fact, extract this money from Nissan and try to enrich himself? This happens sometimes with senior executives. That being said, as you point out, the way he's been handled in Japan has not been particularly well done by that government. And so now he's made his way out. He's clearly ran from justice, even though he says he's running from injustice. He's avoided the law here. He hasn't taken his case to the courts. And so, you know, it's really a question of who do you believe in this situation. And the question is Japan going to get him out of Lebanon? It's obviously extremely embarrassing for the Japanese government. And that's going to be a challenge for Prime Minister Abe. You know, he won a big election here just in this past year. Yeah. That being said, you know, this is not going to help him in Japanese politics for sure.
We're looking at pictures of Carlos Ghosn from March when he exited one of the legal proceedings, and he tried to get out disguised as a construction worker, down to the reflective tape on the jacket, the face masks. Didn't really work. Everybody knew exactly what was going on. But what is your assessment? Do you have a hypothesis about how he was able to do this? And I ask because he has come out with a statement once again saying he and he alone effectuated his escape and extraction. Do you find that hard to believe?
Well, he certainly didn't do it by himself, obviously. I think part of what he was trying to say was it wasn't my family, because there have been allegations that his wife was involved. He tried to protect his family from legal repercussions. At the same time, he obviously had help. The question is, did he get help from the French government? Because he was holding an additional French passport in this locked case. So the question is, how did he get that passport? Why did he get it? Why did he have to carry it around? Why did the Japanese let him do that? And then how did he get it out of there? And then, in fact, getting out of the country, he clearly had to have some help from within Japan. That's going to be a huge issue of investigation within that country. There will be repercussions. I don't doubt that people will get fired as a result. And again, there may be political consequences in Japan. But, you know, it is amazing. It's almost something out of a movie here, Liz, this getaway and this escape. You know, very embarrassing situation for the Japanese government today. One
last thing. He's got a red notice. That means you show up at any airport and try and fly. Arguably, you can be arrested, held, and then returned to the country that wants you. It's like a wanted poster. Question, can he ever leave Lebanon?
Well, we know he could probably get to Brazil and to where he was born, and to France, where he is also a citizen. So he's a citizen of 3 countries, Brazil, Lebanon, and Japan, and France. So he could probably go to those 3 countries. But if he transits anywhere, if his plane is diverted, if he lands somewhere, there is a very real possibility that people will take that red notice seriously. It's not an international arrest warrant, but like you said, it's like a warrant poster, a wanted poster. And a lot of people do take that very seriously. And so there is the possibility that he could be diverted and brought to justice in Japan. That would be a huge issue.
Jamil Jaffer, George Mason University. Great to have you. Happy New Year.
Thanks, Liz. Happy New Year to you, too.
Yeah.